Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be having a look at the winger positions and how we can increase the output of our wingers. So we're going to focus on goal scoring and assists. So how can we set up a teammate? The first thing to note here is that a lot of the stuff that you will see can be found in my red zone videos that I've already put on this channel. So if you haven't watched them yet, please make sure you go and do that. Okay, when we look at the top teams now, we find that a lot of the time a left-footed player will play on the right and a right-footed player will play on the left. I've tried to show you why this is really helpful by the green areas here, because this opens up a lot more of the red zone. So, for example, on this side, you can easily come in on this left foot if you're playing on the right to maybe deliver from this red zone into this back post area, or drive inside yourself and have a shot. But equally, if a run is made into the lower red zone by our number 10 or our inverted fullback, the left-footed pass down the side is also a really important weapon that we need to have available. If we think about it, if this is a right-footed player, a lot of the time the ball we played down here, dribbled and then tried to cross in. And that is a low expected chance creation. If we're talking about percentages, back post crosses from the upper red zone or cutbacks from this lower red zone, that's where we're going to find the highest percentage chances. So that's why having a left-footed player on the right and a right-footed player on the left can be really important when it comes to goals and assists, because it increases the expected output. Importantly here as well, you can see by my arrows that I've highlighted, this is the sort of movement that is expected of a modern day winger now. So to arrive narrow as the ball comes in from the other side, you are expected to be on that back post to receive the ball from a cross or a shot across the goal. So arriving in here, and also when we think about the defensive line, they're going to drop back towards their goal. So the closer they get to the goal, the more narrow they are going to come, which means that we can afford to come narrow with them, but still maintain distance from this fullback, because they don't want to come out to us at any point and create that gap. So keep this distance, but make sure we're arriving on this back post, so that if we deliver, for example, from this upper red zone in here, obviously time your run and arrive at that back post. But yeah, just some quick points here then. The opening up of this red zone, using the wrong foot on that side, and also getting narrower and arriving on that back post from a wide position where you receive the ball. Right, so jumping into the main bulk of the video, we're going to have a look again at some examples from the very best, see how they do it. And I split it up into three categories, very broadly, but they all overlap. So goal scoring, assists from the upper red zone, and assists from the lower red zone. So firstly, let's have a look at goal scoring. I've taken them from 3-4 different teams, I think. So from Spurs, Chelsea, Liverpool and Arsenal, in case you were getting bored of all the Liverpool content. And also good variation to see how four big clubs right now in the Premier League all have exactly the same ideas on how to get output from their wingers. Okay, so let's run this on. This is our first example. Starting, we have a winger that is unbelievably wide, and you will see this a lot. So when he's about to receive this pass, he's already created that distance between him and his defender. Back four is in quite a nice position here, but you're going to see that this is going to end up in a goal and he's going to score it. Because when we run this on, if I was to tell you that he scores from this upper red zone, you'd think there's no way. There's three defenders that are all problems for him, that are all going to stop him from getting from there to even get a shot off in this upper red zone. But as we run it on, we see a really clever run in here, firstly, from Enzo Fernandez, into this lower red zone, if you like, to remove these two. And so when I run it on again, you'll see that actually they've both been taken out of the game. On top of that, if we take it back, because I think this is a really good example to spend some time on, this distance that he's created between, this is Sancho, between him and Pedro Porro, the defender, means that he can jump inside with that extra speed. Like, look how fast he's running here already when he meets that defender. And the run takes two defenders away. His extra speed allows him inside away from Pedro Porro. But we still got a problem. We still got this third defender in our upper red zone that's going to close him down and prevent that shot getting away. So again, we've got a similar idea here from Jackson. So Jackson makes that run this time. Again, sort of into this lower red zone area to clear out that upper red zone. brings the defender with him here, allowing his shot from this upper red zone with no pressure on it. He's the only person that's touched the ball from this scenario, and yet 2 good runs, keeping wide, a bit of extra speed going into that duel with Pedro Porro, has allowed him to arrive in this area now and get a free shot on goal. Pedro Neto, as you can see, I'll focus a little bit more on this later. He should actually be closer, but he's still roughly in the right area to try and get on the end of this, in case it's saved, and then he needs to be following that in case it's saved and it's pushed back out to him. This is our second example, and we've got a similar idea. Already we can see a run. This is Darwin Núñez has engaged this opposition fullback, bringing him narrower, meaning that there's space between the fullback and then Gakpo when he receives this pass. So we'll run it on now, and there's that space created. Just put a little bit of indecision in his mind by making a pretty good run. Salah's bottom of our screen here, by the way. Look, he's doing exactly what he should do, arriving that back post. Let's run it on again. We've got a similar situation. He wants to come into this upper red zone. He knows that this is where dangerous chances are created, or he could get a shot off. But he's got a problem here. So, a really intelligent run from McAllister takes away the defender. There he is, meaning that this upper red zone is now free. Gakpo again, a little bit of speed going into that duel, exactly the same thing that we saw in the past example, creating a little bit of space, meaning that the extra speed going into that 1v1 allows it to knock it past him, and then enter this upper red zone, no pressure on him, and we've got 4 people in the box attacking this back post area. There's Salah doing exactly what he's been told, and it's a brilliant finish into this back post area. But again, if the keeper saves this and it's parried to Salah, he's right there on that back post. Or, of course, if Gakpo wants to cross it, he's there for the tap-in as well. Another similar idea here of that distance that's made sure he's created this time, Madueke, just by staying wide. Recognising that the defenders have all gone quite deep, quite defensive back towards their goal, so he knows they've gone narrower, meaning that he's just pulled out a little bit wider. So if we run it on, it gives him time to get his head up, gain a little bit of speed going into the box, engages that defender now, but the extra speed, a touch round him, and he finds this bottom corner really nicely. And again, we've got the same idea of the winger, or this is actually the left back on the far side. Again, he should be following this in, but if there's a save in here, he's ready for that in case it drops to him. Another good example here of how the distance created means that it's just unstoppable when he starts running at him. So he stays wide. There's no real urgency to try and get in behind yet, because he knows that this distance is going to be useful later. Calls for it, receives a really nice pass in behind, and here we go. Here's a little bit distance now. He's on the ball, so when he arrives at the defender, there he is, 1v1, he's got that extra speed, cut inside, the defender hasn't got time to react. He's going faster than the defender can track back. And this is a brilliant finish into this back post area. But again, look, we've got Jota ready, in case the defender parries it, ready to put it in the back of the net. And this needs to be something that we see in our games, making sure that the opposite side winger isn't switched off. This is a really nice example. Again, look, a really nice wide winger. The ball's on this side, but he still knows, okay, there could be a chance out here. And the defence is still quite high, so he doesn't need to come narrow yet. The pass is played to Rice, and now we've got both wingers making the exact run that I talked about earlier. And this has seen every team pretty much at the top of the Premier League right now. So if we run this on, he maintains that distance from his defender. There you go, you can still see it. Even though Rice is running with the ball, he knows not to come narrow just yet. The pass is now played, just as the defender's body position actually here puts himself in a bit of a mess, meaning that Rice can slip it outside, perfectly timed run, nice and narrow, shot across goal here we've got, and Saka should be following this in. And again, of course, it's a really good finish, but if I'm a coach, I'm telling him, make sure you get on that back post in case it's parried. You just never know. Okay, now we're going to have a look at some assists from the lower red zone. Of course, there's a lot of goal scoring by wingers still in this, but hopefully that's what I'm going to try and highlight now. So same ideas again here. We've got our 2 wingers keeping nice and wide from the back. This is the back 3 in this occasion, but it will turn into a 4 in a second, as you can see. coming narrower towards those back post areas, even when he's on the ball here, when he's driving with the ball. Okay, there's our back four, now you go. But look, he's so clever, Salah here. He makes sure that there's some space, because when this ball is about to be passed across, he knows that he might receive it, and there you go, he's about to receive it now. And this space just allows him that time to get his head up and make a decision, and also to find this pass. We've got a brilliant run from Luis Diaz here. This is actually our striker on this occasion. He was playing a false 9 in this game. And there's our pass. We've got a run between defenders. This is something we have to know by now. It's appeared in every video. And we've also got this distance between the defender and Salah, allowing him time to get his head up and play the pass down the side, assist into that lower red zone. Brilliant shot across goal. Just make a note of Jota here, arriving at that back post, ready in case the keeper spills it. Again, very similar idea. Here are our two wingers, nice and wide, but knowing that they're going to have to come narrower the closer they get to goal. Palmer plays a really nice through ball. There we go. We've got them both arriving now. Pedro Neto brilliantly, as he runs with the ball, still maintaining that speed, gets his head up, and he sees two options, as you can see here. And he chooses, in this case actually, to cut it back to Joao Felix. But look at Madueke still. He's right on that back post, ready in case Neto wanted to cross that along the floor for a cutback, or if the keeper spills it. He's right there in the back post area. Again, we've got the same idea of another cutback. Of course, lower red zones in your brain should now be thinking, okay, there's going to be a cutback coming. Distance maintained, again, staying nice and wide. It also means that you can look along the line really easily. There is no excuse to be offside for a winger. Because if you've maintained nice and wide, this nice wide position here, you can see the entire way along this line. So the ball's played, that distance we talk about all the time, allows him a bit of time to get his head up and make his decision. We've got Trossard over here arriving on that back post. Really nice cutback this is, and a nice finish again. But look, we've still got the winger on the opposite side. He's involved. He knows that when that ball is cut back or delivered from the other side, he needs to be arriving in that back post area. And he does that really well in this example. Okay, next example here. This is another example from Chelsea of how we can, even though we're on the wrong foot, we can still take it to the byline if we've got this ability with our both feet, which is something we need to be working on if we don't. Another really good example of that distance created, peeling out a little bit wider, allows him to receive the pass, and then the use of that distance to generate speed. So he goes from this position now, with a couple touches round the defender, and the defender is just, he can't react in time. He's travelling too fast by the time he reaches the defender here for the defender to react. And it's a really nice cutback to Jackson, and I'm not going to do Jackson the disservice of showing you where this ball ends up. Madueke, again, really nice in this back post area. I think the ball lands somewhere over here, but it's a golden opportunity which he should be scoring. This is from the Man City-Liverpool game, and this is a brilliant example because look, we've got our standard back four with our two wingers, both thinking about coming wide. An amazing ball by Trent over the top. That's outrageous. Sticking it over their heads into this wide area. And again, we've got this idea of when we pick up the ball, we've got a bit of distance to work with. So we can get our head up and make a decision about what we want to do. And also use that bit of extra speed to create a crossing opportunity which the defender can't react in time to. And look at this. Who's on the other end of it? There's our winger. So let's go back to the start. He's going to assist and he's going to score. And you run it all the way through, and that is how you arrive at the back post. If you're a winger and you're wanting to score more goals, this is the very easy way to do it. Make sure that you're always there in this area when that ball is crossed, because you just never know, it might fall to you. Okay, finally here we're going to have a look at some more assists, but this time from the upper red zone. And this is where it is particularly important to have a right-footed player on the left and a left-footed player on the right, because it opens up this top area really nicely, as we've already seen. And of course, this can be used to take shots from, but also to assist from, as we're about to see. Really nice example here from Tottenham. Both wingers look where the ball is, all the way at the back with the centre-backs, but still maintain that distance from their full-back with the intention of arriving narrow. So when the ball is rotated down Tottenham's left here, Brennan Johnson, the right winger, he knows he's going to be on the end of this. Similar idea that we've already seen. The camera angle doesn't really show it, but distance from Son between him and the defender builds up a bit of speed going into this 1v1 duel. You've also got an overlap here, which creates a bit of indecision, which is really helpful. But the combination of those two means that he can get his head up and deliver a ball into this back post area. And look who's on the end of it, our winger, coming in nice and narrow at the end to make sure that he gets that tap in and scores the goal. Another example here of peeling out wide. So this is our winger that's come in a bit narrow. And Salah does really well here because he creates this space so that when he receives the ball now, look at that, he's got so much time, get his head up, take a touch, prepare himself for that cross. And this is our winger here coming in now at the back post. There it is, 1, 2, 3, runs into this space between defenders and goalkeeper and in between the defenders, as you can see. So when the ball comes in now, Gakpo, there he is on the far post, making sure that he gets that header into the goal. And this is actually our opposite side winger here, but he's now ended up as almost a centre forward, he's come so narrow. Another nice example here of how Arsenal have used it. Of course, Bukayo Saka is one of the best players for doing this. Peels out nice and wide, creates that distance. He's got time, take a touch, get his head up, cuts into this upper red zone, and exactly the same idea. This is our winger on the opposite side, making sure that he's arriving at that back post. But we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, in between defenders, into this area, in between the defenders and the goalkeeper. So when the ball is crossed in, there's Havertz making sure to get on the end of it. He sticks it in the back of the net. But there's our winger. If Havertz doesn't head this ball and it travels to the back post, he is ready for a simple tap in then. Another really nice example, I love this camera angle, this shows it really nicely. One winger and two wingers. Distance between already created due to being nice and wide. Meaning he's got time to get his head up and cross this ball. If I'm a coach, I'm looking at this and telling Sancho, you need to be in this area. You've got to be in that area. But we talked about third man runs, I think in the last video, the number 8 video. And this is actually our left back, our inverted left back, that makes this run in between defenders. Nice third man run. Again, if I'm a coach, Sancho's got to be there for me. Into this area between goalkeeper and defenders. Good header into the back of the net. Sancho should be in here though. He's got to be attacking that back post. But a good example of how Madueke from that upper red zone assisted. Okay, this is a final example, and this is, you couldn't ask for a more perfect example. Distance created already. There they both are. The ball's down this right hand side for Arsenal. Martinelli knows he's going to be the one on the back post. So Partey plays this pass, and we've got a similar idea to those goal scoring examples that we saw right at the start of the video. This is our upper red zone. Saka wants to come into here. He knows he can either shoot from here or he can assist from here. This is a dangerous area to be in. And Partey also knows this, his teammate. But there's a problem, as you can see, I've highlighted him here. So what does Partey do? He makes this run out of the upper red zone, into the lower red zone, taking him away. There he is, and look all that space he's created. For Bukayo Saka now to drive into that space and deliver. There's your wide winger, coming in narrow at the perfect time, looking along the line, making sure he's not offside. And 1, 2, 3, 4, all runs between defenders into this area between the goalkeeper and the defenders, right on the back post. I mean, you can't get any more back post than that, and he puts it away really nicely. So the key things that we've really learned from this video is the distance between the winger and the defender when receiving that ball means that you've got so much more time to use to get your head up. Or if you're going to run at them, that increase in speed can be so dangerous to get your shot off, to produce a pass, produce a cross. And that idea of coming narrower, if you are a winger who's wanting to score more goals, that back post area is the way to do it. Making sure that we're always arriving in that back post, expecting the ball to arrive from the opposite side. Not just watching it, being proactive. And so as the play progresses, we are ready for that delivery and to put our chance away.